Okay, so the fourth one, a payment of 500 was received from F. McFadden, a debtor whose debt has previously been written off and who wishes to trade with DFAC again. So this is kind of like the adjustment we have in question one. So what we need is we're going to need the debtor, we're going to need our bad debts, and we're going to need our bank. So our debtor is going to increase, our debtors are going to increase, so it's going to go on the debit side. Our bank is going to increase by 500, so that's going to go on the debit side. And then our bad debts, which is an expense, is going to decrease, so that's going to go on the credit side. Now this represents 80% of the original debt, and the debtor has undertaken to pay the remainder of the debt by January. No entry has been made in the books, so it's only 80%, so we have to find out how much 100% is. So we're going to take 500 divided by 80, that's going to give us 1%, so 6.25. To get 100%, you will take the 6.25 multiplied by 100, so the full debt is going to be 625. So as I said previously, the debtors, it's an asset, so we're going to increase it, so it goes on the debit side. Our bank is an asset, so it increases, goes on the debit side. And our bad debts then is an expense, going to decrease because don't trade with us and they're going to pay us back this 625, so that goes on the credit side. So what happened? So the bank receives 500, so we want to stick our bank on the debit side, and that's going to go on credit side of the bank. I'll explain that now in a second. Our debtor then, so our bad debts are going to decrease by the full amount, which is the 625. So our bad debt is going to decrease by 625, and our debtor then is going to increase by 625, because that's how much he's going to owe us. Our bank then is going to be 500, so that goes into our bank account, and the double entry is in the debtor. So all what he's left to pay us is 125, and that's going to balance when we put down. He's going to pay us in January. So your debtor is the difference between the debt and how much they paid. So that's going to be 125. Our bank then is how much we received. So it's going to be an asset debit 500. And our bad debt then is the full debt that we need to decrease our bad debts by, which is 625. So how do we fix it? Debtor, 125 on the debit side, bank, 500 on the debit side, and our bad debt then 625 on the credit side. So we've got 625 on the debit side, 625 on the credit side. So your journal, debtors, debit, 125, bank, debit, 500, your bad debts credit, 625. So being recording of a bad debt recovered. Okay, let's have a look at the last one then. So DeFi purchase goods on credit from Car Parts Limited for 3,000. So Car Parts Limited, so we're a garage, so these car parts are going to be sold on. So we're going to need purchases, and we're going to need creditors plus VAT at 13.5%. So we're also going to need our VAT account. So remember that the company collects VAT and then sends it on to the government. So there are the three accounts that we're going to need. So 3 accounts: purchases, our creditors of car parts, and our VAT. That's what should have happened. What did happen then? So the only entries in the accounts were VAT inclusive figure was entered into the debit side of the VAT account, and the VAT exclusive figure credit side of car parts. So you're going to need your equipment and you're going to need car parts. We need to find out how much is the VAT. So 3,000 is the figure, the purchases figure, and 13.5% is your VAT rate. So VAT is 405. So our equipment is inclusive, and so the only entry in the accounts for VAT inclusive figures entering the debit side of the equipment. So debit side is going to be 3,405. And our VAT exclusive on the credit side of car parts. So car parts is going to be 3,000. So So our debits and credits don't equal, so we need to put in a suspense there of 405. What should have happened, you should have your purchases of 3,000, your car parts of the total bill, 3405, is on the credit side of your creditors, and your VAT then, 405. How do we fix it then? So equipment, we have equipment of 3,405 there on the debit side. We don't need it, so we want to credit that account with 3,405. Car parts then should be 3,405, so we're going to credit car parts of 405. Our suspense then has got 405 on the debit side, so we need to get rid of that 405 on the credit side. We've got our purchases then, we need 3,000 on the debit side, so 3,000 goes on the debit side. We have our car parts done already, and then you need VAT then, debit your VAT, 405. So your journals will look like this. Equipment, credit, 3,405. Car parts credit, 405. Suspense debit, 405. Purchase returns debit, 3,000. And VAT, 405. And then your narration then being the correction of VAT inclusive and exclusive in the accounts. So that's your generalized, your journalized necessary corrections, and then show the suspense accounts. For the suspense account, you look through your journals and see where the suspense on the debit or credit side, and what you're trying to calculate is the suspense figure at the start. So we look down here, we've got as part of our first adjustment, we suspense on the debit side of 4,400. So it goes in your T account, debit side, 4,400. Keep scrolling down or looking down or scanning down, suspense on the credit side, 11,800. So on the credit side, number 3, 11,800. And we keep going down, and then start with the last one, then suspense, then 405. So we've got 11,800 on this side. If you add these two up, you only have 4,805. So the difference then is 6,995. And that's the difference. And that's just your suspense account completed and get 6 pence for that. So part D says prepare a statement showing the correct net profit. So anything from our journals. So we're going to look back here at our journals. Anything that would have went into your profit and loss account, if it's on the credit side, we're going to add it on. If it's on the debit side, we're going to take it away. So our net profit, 4,000. So that 4,000 is taken straight from the question itself. And in the balance sheet, you will have your net profit figure in your finance file. So once you guys say add anything that goes into your profit and loss account, you're going to add it on if it's a credit. If it's on the debit side, you're going to take it away for your expenses. So have a look at our journals. And our first journal entry here, we have purchases. So purchases goes into your profit and loss account. It's on the credit side. So that means then that you're going to add it on here. So purchases, 400. We keep moving down next. So the next one then we've got purchases here on the debit side. So if the purchase on the debit side, we're going to take it away. So your purchase here, less purchases, 10,000, because that's going to affect our overall net profit. Keep moving down, purchase returns then on the credit side. So we're going to add that on. So purchase returns 10,600, because on the credit side, we add it on. And next adjustment then we've got bad debts. So they'd be an expense. And they're on the credit side, so that means then your bad debts are going to be added on. And then the last part then we have equipment suspense. You've got purchase returns then debit side. So you take away them from the net profits and purchase returns. So you're going to add up all the figures you have underneath the add heading, because you 11,625, that's going to be added to your original profit. And then you're going to take away anything that's on the debit side. So 13,000. So our new original figure for net profit should be 38,625. Okay, so the last part then, or part D, prepare a corrected balance sheet. So with the balance sheet, we're going to work down through each item of the balance sheet in question, and depend on the journals that we calculate here. and we increase or decrease as per the question. So what does that mean? So we would take the first item's premises, 50,000. Have a look at our journal. I don't think we'd any premises as part of our journal. So your premise is going to stay the same, 500,000. Next item then, motor vehicles. So motor vehicles, 35,000. Once again, have a look through your journal entries. Don't think there's any motor vehicles are up. Don't think we bought any. So it's going to stay the same. Equipment then. Head equipment, the first question. So it's debit, 4,000. Have a look down and see if you have any more equipment. Your equipment here, credit, 3,400. So it's on the debit side. We're going to increase the asset. It's on the credit side. We're going to decrease it. So our motor vehicles, as per the question, 24,000. So you're going to add on 4,000, take away 3,400, and get 24,595. That gives it fixed assets then of 559,595. Current assets then, stock stays the same, so we didn't have any adjustments. Your debtors then, we had a couple then of debtors, so have a look at a journal entry. We have debtors there of 10,000, it's part 2, and then debtors then part 4, both on the debit side, so that means you want to add the two of them on. Cash then, the cash I think was the last one, or the cash sales, part 2, 10,000, cash and asset, so on the credit side, so you take it away. So you do that for each item down along. Creditors then 43. So if we have a look at our journal entries, creditors on the credit side, so you're going to add it on of 8,000. As we work down along, we've got creditors then 22,400, so you're going to take it away. And then we've got creditors then 405 on the credit side, so you're going to add it on. So for that one, you can do your yourself a little journal entry. RT account, so 52,300 as per the question, 8,405, and don't forget to put in part C, because remember in the question it says that including suspense is in your creditors. So our suspense is 6,995, so we're going to stick it into the credit side just to get rid of it or reduce it. And then we have 24,400. So your balance then is going to be 45,300. So you can also add them on or take them away up here. So you can take away the 22,400 because it's on the debit side, and you're going to add on the 8,405 and your suspense as well. Your bank then, we've won 500, so take it away, and your VAT then 405. So have a look at the journal entry yourself as you look back through the question. So that gives your current liabilities, take it away from your current assets, and you get 13,330, and then you're going to add that on to your fixed assets. Financed by then capital, so your capital of 10,000 introduced from the car, your net profit that you have as part of the previous one, part C, and then you're going to take away your drawings then as per the question. So new balance is there, 572,924. Your theory then for this one is outline the purpose of the suspense account, and there's two purposes. So it just, if any mistake in the accounts prevents the trial balance from balancing, you stick in the suspense account. The difference between the debit and the credit side of the trial balance is entered in the suspense account until the errors are discovered. So I hope that answers some of the questions you might have for the suspense account. So if you have any other questions, you can email me or you can leave a comment on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.